When I got the call, basically from my wife, saying they're about to do a blood transfusion, to me it was no different than I was in Denzel Washington in Mexico City and someone had just kidnapped my daughter. I hopped in my car and got down there as soon as possible. I had all my guys, we were traveling in numerous SUVs, picking up everything we needed along the way. Came running in the hospital. I'm like, do not stick that needle in her arm with the COVID's lethal injection people. And so I actually got them to stop. And as I mentioned, I barricaded the door and we got the Tesla machine on her because what they said was her hemoglobin was really low and she really needed a blood transfusion after her surgery. But after the Tesla, she was way better. And they actually wouldn't release her from the hospital immediately. They're like, no, she needs a blood transfusion. Her hemoglobin's way too low. And I said, after doing the Tesla, test it again. And they did. And they're like, what happened? Everything's perfect now. And I was like, I didn't say. Anyway, so we got my wife out. And they've been doing a few more tests, just making sure she's okay. And her doctor actually said, because we didn't tell him either, I don't know what happened, but she's way better. But he mentioned to her, he said, it is a little low still though. And if you did do a blood transfusion, you'd probably feel even better than you currently feel. And she actually feels pretty good. But she had lost a fair amount of blood during the surgery. And so I said, well, I'll do the blood transfusion. And so they put me on the blood thing and the girl walks away for a minute. And she's walking past a minute later and she looks down because they had a little timer going. She looks at the timer and her eyes opened up huge. And she started calling people in. She's like, get in here, you gotta see this. And apparently, I didn't know what they're like. I was like, what's going on? And they're actually taking photos. And when it was finished, they took a photo of the time and then they told me what it was. And they took a photo of me to put on the wall. They said, you broke the record for the fastest blood transfusion of, I think it was 450 milliliters of blood is what the amount it was. So about half a liter.